Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this one, if you could just hit that subscribe button down below, that would really help me out because we're trying to hit 5,000 subs this year and I think we can do it. But today's video is about the January transfer window and how well I think it's gone. And spoiler alert, by the thumbnail, you'll tell that I think it's Leeds' best January transfer window ever. Now, I say that with a pinch of salt because I do mean modern times. But over the last couple of years, we've had people like Angus Kinnear tell us it's not a very good time to get good deals. It's not a very good time for a prudently managed club financially to go out and get players and get deals. But we seem to have done a 180-degree turn on that, and we've started bringing in some players, and we've actually broken our record signing twice, if you count Weston McKennie's obligation to make it permanent if we stay in the Premier League. So let's do it chronologically, and we'll start with Max Wöber. Apparently it is Wöber, not Wöber or Wöber. Max Wöber then. Well, if I'm being honest, this one came out of nowhere, and I didn't know who he was. But since he's been in, I think he's been a bit of a revelation. Jesse obviously liked him from his time at RB Salzburg, and I can see why. He's definitely Jesse's sort of player. He comes out from the back, he wins the ball, he's strong in the tackle, and when he does win the ball, he gives it quickly into the feet of the midfielders, who can then use those balls into their feet to play off the holding midfielders and spin in behind and create space that way. So I think he's excellent for Jesse's way of playing, and I think he's an excellent signing. At 11 million, he already looks like he's vastly improved our defence. And so, yeah, no-brainer, excellent signing. I would like to get another right centre-back to complement him in the summer, and I think we could be a different side with another centre-back in there. But yeah, Max Wöber then, just wanted to touch on him because I think he's been brilliant. He came in against Cardiff in the first leg of the FA Cup, and he played in holding midfield, which everyone was a bit shocked about, and he changed the game, actually. I know it was only against Cardiff, but he changed the game. Then we've seen him play at left centre-back a couple of times, and I've been really, really impressed with what I've seen. So excellent bit of business to get him for only £11 million. It might have even been 11 million euros, you know, which makes it a bit cheaper in pounds. But yeah, really, really happy with Wöber, and especially for the value for money. Next came Georginio Rutter. Now, Georginio Rutter was a wonder kid that I had heard about before, and he had been impressing people in the Bundesliga very easy for me to say, for Hoffenheim. Now, people looked at his stats, Leeds fans looked at his stats and said, well, he's not scoring many goals. That means he's not great. But he's a player where you need to do the eye test and you need to watch him actually play football. And the positions that he picks up, the balls that he plays, the runs that he makes, the dribbles that he can do, he's really impressive. And I think he's going to be a massive part of this Leeds side going forward. I think in that Accrington game, we sort of saw little aspects of all of his game, but you've got to remember that he hasn't played a game since before the World Cup, a competitive game since before the World Cup, because the Bundesliga only restarted in January, as in a week ago, I think it was, or even sooner than that. But Georginio Rutter showcased in that Accrington Stanley game a little bit what he's capable of, and when he knocked the ball past their fullback, ran round, got the ball on the other side of him in a race that you thought he should not be winning that race, and got his body in there, then curled a ball into the box. Now, I'm going to be doing a video about Leeds' tactics and more detail than you've ever had before, a full rundown of Jesse Marsch's philosophy so that people can see where the patterns of play come from and why these players have been signed. So we'll factor the players into it as well. But one of the things I'm going to talk about is the front post cross, and Georginio Rutter is excellent at it, and I've seen many assists from him on the YouTube clips when he's actually put the ball in that perfect space behind the defenders but in front of the goalkeeper for a striker to just tap in. So I think he's going to be excellent in this side, and he really fits what Jesse wants to do. And like I said when he first signed, at the moment, we've got Bamford and Rodrigo fit, and so he's not going to be in the striker role, but more off the right-hand side, cutting in and playing on his left foot, and he's got his right foot as well, which is equally as good. So Georginio Rutter, excellent signing as well. We broke our transfer record for that one, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think he's going to be an excellent talent for years and years to come, even if it's just a couple of years down the line that we have to sell him for big, big money. But I think that's a possibility. Second to last then, Weston McKennie, and probably one of the most hyped transfers. Weston McKennie then, people thought, well, he's at Juventus, the rumours are just because he's American, but when it actually became concrete, Leeds fans started to get excited, and you can see why. The way he plays is box to box and an all-round midfielder who can even play in the full-back positions and stuff if needed, and right and left midfield. He's very, very versatile, but his ideal position is that number 8, sat in front of 2 number 6s. Now, number 6s, I mean double pivots, holding midfielders, Tyler Adams and Mark Rocker. I think what Weston McKennie does is he allows us more options when playing different formations. So he would play a similar role to what Brendan Aronson plays, but he would sit a little bit deeper and help out the defensive unit as well, and I think that could be invaluable for us. Also, he makes those third-man runs, he bursts into the box, he wins headers, he's aggressive, he's athletic, he's strong, and he's got an excellent partnership with Tyler Adams already now. When we were on The Final Word, must have been a few weeks ago now, I talked about how I thought that football is about partnerships and relationships. And I think somebody got at me in the comments saying that I didn't know what I was talking about because I said this. But what I meant was, if you have 2 centre-backs that don't know what each other are going to do, it's unpredictable. The player doesn't know whether the other centre-back, when one's got the ball, the other centre-back doesn't know whether to drop off to receive the ball or to go forward to receive the ball or to split or to do whatever. They don't know each other's play style. They don't play as well together because that's when you get mistakes. So it's really valuable having, when we talked about Somerville and Gnonto becoming really good friends, it's valuable to have those working relationships like Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams have, because they've known each other since they were 14 years old. So they'll have that connection where Tyler Adams won't even have to look up and he will know where Weston McKennie is going to be because of playing with him at national level and in youth level as well. So that connection is going to be invaluable. The connection between different positions on the pitch and partnerships that players form can be really valuable because they know exactly what that player is going to do before they do it. And one of the best examples to explain this sort of philosophy is that when Patrick Bamford comes into the team, everybody says, oh, we play better with Bamford in the team. And the reason is that all the players around him know exactly what he's going to do. Jack Harrison, for the goal he scored against Accrington, that absolute banger that he smashed in, he was taking up a position where Bamford could lay it off to him. Either Bamford probably thought Harrison was going to pass it, but Bamford knew exactly where Harrison was, and Harrison knew exactly where Bamford was going to put the ball to be in that position because they've played together for years now. So it's important building those partnerships and relationships, and when you can bring in a new signing who already is friends with and has grown up with one of your other midfielders, starting midfielders, that's invaluable to have, A, for time settling into the team, and B, how they actually play when they are in the team together. I think that's going to be really, really strong for us and really help us out in there. The last one, and not least, but Diogo Monteiro, the 18-year-old centre-back from Servette. I talked about him a little bit in the video last night. I can see why they've gone for him. He's 6'4", he's 18 years old. He made his debut in the Swiss League as the youngest defender ever in the Swiss League at 16 years old. And so he's got a little bit of potential, shall we say. He's got a high ceiling. He's good at winning the ball, he's good at long-range passing, and I think that he would fit into this system perfectly were he a few years older. So I think we're just going to give him a little bit of time to settle in, maybe be a little bit of an understudy to Robin Koch, and then maybe get some games at some point, hopefully, maybe when we're safe towards the end of this season. But I can't see it being that easy. So you may see him in pre-season next season in the first team and then start to work his way in. But I think Diogo Monteiro, it may fly under the radar, but in a couple of years, a lot of people will be saying his name. So yeah, that is it, Ren, really. I think it is one of the best January transfer windows we've ever had. And obviously, that's relative to where we've been, because obviously when we were in the Championship, we couldn't sign £35 million players, could we? But relative to the position we were in and the quality of players that we're going out to sign, this is still the best window that I've ever seen from Leeds United in January. I think we've improved from front to back, from back to front. We've got a whole new spine of the team, and we've added a youth team player as well. The only other bit of news is, as well, like I talked about last night, Diego Llorente is now confirmed as going to Roma, and it's also been confirmed that the option to buy is at £18 million. So hopefully he plays really well for them and they exercise that option to buy, because I do think his time at Ellen Road has come to an end. And Charlie Cresswell could well go through before the deadline is up. So if that does go up, then obviously, if that does happen, I'll obviously be aware of that, but we can chat about that in the comments below. So like I say, get your comments in. We'll talk about this transfer window as a whole. Let me know what you think. In fact, I'm going to say this is a 9 out of 10. If we'd have brought in a right centre-back as well, who is a first-team player, it's a 10 out of 10. For me, it's a 9 out of 10. In the comments down below, it's hard for me to read massive long comments. So in the comments down below, I can get to all of you if you put a rating out of 10 and then one sentence about sum up the transfer window in one sentence and a rating out of 10, and we can discuss it all in the comments below. So thanks for watching this one. Like I mentioned earlier and I hinted at, there's going to be a video where I fully explain, I've done a lot of research, I'm going to fully explain how Jesse Marsch's tactics work. And not only that, it's not just going to be fact presentation of how the tactics should work, I'm also going to talk about the shortcomings and why we're struggling against certain teams and stuff. So look out for that one on the channel, because that should be a great video. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next time on Leeds Lately.